On Sunday, June 27, 1976, Air France Flight 139 departed from Tel Aviv, heading for Paris. But during a stopover in Athens, everything changed. The plane was hijacked by a joint team of German and Palestinian terrorists. After a refueling stop in Libya, the aircraft was forced to land at Entebbe airport in Uganda under the watch of the dictator Idi Amin. The hijackers swiftly separated the Israeli and Jewish passengers from the others. The non-Israelis were released, but over 100 hostages remained. The demand was stark: the release of dozens of terrorists held in prisons across Israel and other countries, plus a $5 million ransom. If Israel refused, they would start executing the hostages. For the Israeli government, a desperate race against time began. Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was torn. Without a viable military option, he believed they had no moral right to abandon their people and must negotiate. But Defense Minister Shimon Peres argued fiercely against it. He declared that if Israel capitulated, everyone will understand us, but no one will respect us. He believed a successful rescue, even with casualties, would restore Israel's deterrence. Even the opposition leader Menachem Begin, a hardliner against negotiating with terrorists, agreed that talks were necessary if no military alternative existed. The principle was clear: Jewish lives came first. But while the government appeared to negotiate, behind the scenes, the Israel Defense Forces were working feverishly on a plan. The intelligence community worked around the clock, piecing together information from every possible source: fragments of airport blueprints, models of the terminal building, and grainy aerial photographs. Out of this chaos, a daring plan emerged. 4C-130 Hercules transport planes would fly 4,000 kilometers from Israel to Uganda, a journey deep into hostile territory. The plan's centerpiece was a stroke of genius. The first plane would carry a black Mercedes and 2 Land Rovers, painted to look exactly like Idi Amin's presidential convoy. The idea was to bluff their way past the airport guards. 100 elite commandos from the legendary Sayeret Matkal unit, along with Air Force troops and paratroopers, were chosen for the mission. As the soldiers prepared, Israel's negotiators stalled for time, pushing back the hijackers' deadline hour by hour. On Saturday, July 3rd, the mission launched. The 4 Hercules aircraft, loaded with commandos and vehicles, lifted off into the night, flying low over the Red Sea and the Horn of Africa to avoid radar detection. The pilots navigated through the darkness. A critical, secret refueling stop was made in Nairobi, Kenya. It was a huge risk for the Kenyan government, which now faced the wrath of Idi Amin, but it was essential for the mission's success. As the planes neared Uganda, the soldiers inside checked their weapons one last time. They were flying into the unknown, on a mission that had never been attempted before. Just before midnight on July 4th, the first Hercules touched down silently at Entebbe. The ramp lowered, and the black Mercedes rolled out, flanked by the Land Rovers, speeding toward the old terminal where the hostages were held. 2 Ugandan guards stepped forward, but something was wrong. They knew Amin had recently switched to a white Mercedes. As their suspicion grew, Sayeret Matkal, Commander Yonatan Netanyahu, gave the order: open fire. The silenced pistols popped, but the element of complete surprise was lost. The commandos burst from their vehicles and stormed the terminal. A voice boomed through a megaphone in Hebrew and English: "Get down. Stay down." We are Israeli soldiers. Inside the hall, most hostages dropped to the floor, but in the confusion of the firefight, 3 were tragically killed. Within just 6 minutes, all 7 hijackers were eliminated. But as he directed the evacuation, Yonatan Netanyahu was struck by a Ugandan sniper's bullet. He would later die from his wounds, the only Israeli soldier killed in the assault. As the raid on the terminal unfolded, the other aircraft landed. Armored personnel carriers rolled out to secure the perimeter and provide covering fire. Another team systematically destroyed 11 of the Ugandan Air Force's MiG fighter jets parked on the tarmac, ensuring no one could pursue them. From the control tower, Ugandan soldiers fired down on the Israelis, who returned fire, neutralizing the threat. In less than 20 minutes, The commandos began herding the 102 shaken but alive hostages onto the waiting planes. The entire operation, from landing to takeoff, lasted only 53 minutes. The planes lifted off, leaving the chaos behind. They brought home the hostages, their rescuers, and the body of their fallen commander. One hostage, 74-year-old Dora Bloch, who had been taken to a hospital in Kampala, was left behind. She was later murdered on Idi Amin's orders. The world was stunned. Israel had proven that it would not wait for others to act when its citizens were in danger. The mission, renamed Operation Jonathan in honor of Yoni Netanyahu, became a global symbol of courage, creativity, and incredible planning. It showed the world that terrorism could be fought and defeated. It cemented a core principle for Israel: never surrender when lives are at stake, and go to any length to bring your people home. The soldiers who flew into the night became heroes, their daring raid a legend that continues to inspire to this day. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as incredible as we do, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more.